Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Sunday, August the 7th, race number 7 at Saratoga. We kick off a 50-cent pick 4 with the Saratoga Oaks. It's a grade 3, 3-year-old fillies, mile and 3/16 on the melon turf course. Let's take a look at this field. Scan the QR code for race of the day access on your mobile device. The two McCulloch looking to go back-to-back in Oaks races. She won the Belmont Oaks last time out, and she's likely going to be the favorite here based on that 92 buyer performance at Belmont.
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be the favorite in here, Dan. It took her a while, I think, to get there. It feels like in that Belmont Oaks last time, she finally got there.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race because while we see perhaps a competitive pace with the 4 Walkathon, the 3 with the Moonlight, I'm not sure this pace is going to be very fast. It's a short field. Walkathon does have some speed, but it's not like she's any kind of a burner. These horses are mostly stalkers, mostly closers. The good news about the favorite McCulloch is it seems like she's pace adaptable.
It does seem like she is. It's going to be interesting to see what happens first time through the stretch in this race, though, Dan, because I do think that both the 3 and the 4 are going to go forward in this race. As you've already mentioned, it doesn't seem like either one of them, is necessarily always dead set on the lead, but both of them get really headstrong early in the races. It feels like their jockeys want to rate more than the horses do. And so they really take hold of these horses and try to get them to settle. I wonder if one of them just decides, you know what, we're going this time and we're taking the lead.
The number 1, New Year's Eve, is already a graded stakes winner this year. She took the Edgewood from way off of the pace, and she's going to hope for some hitting up front because she's one of the true closers in this field. Now, she kind of hinted at that ability in the Edgewood in her prior race at the fairgrounds, a race where she just got banged around in all sorts of traffic and still was firing to only get beat a length. She got bet a bit in the Belmont Oaks off that win at Churchill, and I don't know whether it was the 1.25 miles or the step up in class, or maybe even a wide trip, but I expected a little bit more.
Yeah, I did too. She really didn't run at all in the Belmont Oaks last time. That was very disappointing. Prior to that, she was really good. I feel like she went into that Edgewood really underrated and ran a big race that day to defeat McCulloch, who then just came back in the Belmont Oaks and buried that field while this horse really showed nothing from the back of the pack. I got a feeling she's way better than that, Dan, but she better rebound quickly.
Let's talk a little bit about McCulloch, never off the board from 5 starts, trained by who else? Chad Brown, beautifully bred daughter of Frankel. She ticks a lot of boxes because she's also in form. Here's the Belmont Oaks at 1.25 miles, her breakout performance. She gets to the outside at just the right time, and she storms past this field. I like this effort, Mike. I like the way she finished it off. I think she's found herself going these longer distances, and she's expected to fire hard in the stretch once again.
Yeah, I think the same way. I mean, she got a great trip in this race, but she also fired a good one to close this race down. She had hinted, she's been pretty good right from the start, Dan, but she hinted that she took the step forward when she lost the regret 2 starts back. She ran a huge race that day with no chance to win, and then she took another step forward last time, and she's way the horse to beat now.
The filly she ran down in that race is also by Frankel. That's with the Moonlight. You just saw her finish second in the Belmont Oaks. She won the Pretty Poly earlier this year. Distance isn't an issue, and her tactical speed does give her an edge. She's once again likely to get the jump on McCulloch turning into the stretch, and she gets maybe a little bit less distance to work with. Perhaps that'll be to her advantage. She needs to take a slight step forward, but the way these connections have gone the last year and a half or so, that wouldn't be a surprise at all.
Yeah, it wouldn't at all. You're right about that. And they bring William Buick over to ride her this time, too. Again, a horse who just her first 2 starts off the leg as a 3-year-old. I thought she ran really well in the Pretty Poly, but she was very headstrong in that race and didn't want to settle. Same thing in the Kazoo Oaks, where she didn't settle and got really tired. And I thought she did it again last time, Dan. They wanted to go forward with her. That pace was actually pretty solid. And she just didn't really want to rate early in that race. All in all, I thought she ran a pretty good race that day. No match for McCulloch late, but maybe she settles a little better, or they just put her on the front this time. I think she can make it closer.
The number 4 Walkathon's just that typical Ian Wilkes trained horse, isn't she? It took her several starts to find herself. Stretching out in distance certainly helped, and she has just come into her own. She has won all 3 of her turf starts, all showing good tactical speed, including the grade 3 regret last time out where she beat McCulloch. And again, here's a situation. Julien Leparoux is an expert pace rider. Maybe he sees not a lot of speed in this race. Perhaps the European horse doesn't want to go on with it. Let's grab the front and back down the fractions. We've seen Julien do it before.
Yeah, we have. I'd like to see him turn this horse loose too, because she looks like in her races she wants to go, and he just will not let her go to the lead. He takes a big hold of this horse, and she fights him. I don't know, for the first furlong or so, and then she finally settles. The thing that you really like about her, though, and she showed it in that regret when she beat McCulloch, she has almost instant acceleration when he asks her for it. I don't know how long her burst is. I don't know how much farther she really wants to go, but this filly has a lot of talent.
The other Chad in this race is pretty good in her own right. That's the 6, Contemporary Art, a daughter of Dubawi, who is a neck away from being unbeaten from her first 2 starts. Here's the maiden win, second lifetime start, June 17th, going a mile and an eighth, and she got a great trip in this race. She was able to sort of save ground in behind the lead, got out, and was too good for this field at odds on.
Yeah, this is exactly how you want your 2 to 5 shots to win. This is a very easy victory. She ran well first time out. She didn't have some kind of big excuse not to win there, but it was a really useful experience for her. She obviously took a step forward here, beating overall what seemed like a pretty weak field. But that's the way that you want to do it, Dan. She has a huge pedigree, and Chad steps her right up.
I wonder if Oakhurst is sort of Chad's sneaky horse in this race, however. She ran off a little bit of a layoff in the Wild Applause last time out, going a mile, and we're going to watch that race. And this was a race where she didn't really break very well. She's going to get to the outside, turning into the stretch, and I thought she finishes up okay, all things considered. I think there's a lot of upside potential here. I'm actually looking forward to seeing her stretch out in distance, but she is going to need a little bit of pace help.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what kind of trip she gets. I thought she ran fine in here. I mean, she's really no match for her stablemate there, Eminent Victor, who actually came out of this race to run really well up here at Saratoga. So I think she was in against a quality horse last time. I thought she ran fine. This is not an easy spot for her. We'll see how she handles the added ground too. It's interesting to hear that you think she's going to stretch out effectively. I think she has a chance to do that too. I just wonder if this is the right spot to do it.
Let's before we take a look at our top picks, please click the subscribe button on that Daily Racing Form YouTube channel. Get all the latest DRFTV offerings. We're in full swing this summer with Saratoga and Del Mar. Top pick time for the Saratoga Oaks. McCulloch's the horse to beat based on her last race. If she runs back to that performance, she's going to be very tough in here. I know you like the 4 a little bit, Walkathon. I like that acceleration that you mentioned, and maybe she'll just be too tough to catch. I'm really curious to see if the Godolphin entrant can do it back-to-back. Some people believe in that Euro bounce.
Yeah, that's true. Some people do believe in that. I'm not one of them. I think that horse is going to run well. I think Walkathon's going to run well. I don't know if I'm going to bet against McCulloch, though.
Same super, different order. 2-4-3-5 for Mike, 2-3-5-4 for me. It's the Saratoga Oaks. It's your Sunday race of the day at the Spa. Good luck.